particular sessions of the challenges of the performance appraisal, we will be talking about the communicate the standards in continuation. In previous session, I have talked about that is the how to create the benchmark standards so that we can evaluate the performance of the others are there. Then we will measure the actual performance on the basis of this against these standards. Then making these the compare actual performance with the standards and discuss the appraisal, and finally we will taking the corrective actions are there. So, ensuring the unbiased and objective performance management. So, whenever we want to make this objective based performance in HRM, it involves the developing and applying a consistent set of the criteria to evaluate all employees work performance free from the personal prejudice or the external influences are there. All of us know that is the whenever the appraisal and the appraisee are there, then definitely there may be the certain biasness can be there. To avoid this, there is required a consistent set of the criteria, and discretion will be less and less. So, therefore, it will be more objective based performance measurement rather than the subjective based performance measurement is there. If you are giving an opportunity for the more objective based performance, then definitely you can reduce this type of the errors in the performance. So, if the approach is the crucial for the maintaining the fairness, promoting equality and the enhancing the credibility of the performance management system within the organizations. Whenever this type of the impartial and the biasless performance appraisal will be there and totally focus on the whether the employee has performed or not performed, it will be impartial, and as a result of which because of this the fairness, the credibility of the organization also that will increase, and employees they will be having these the conduct the regular training sessions of the all evaluations including the managers and HR personnel on recognizing and mitigating the unconscious biasness. So, therefore, in that case we can give this type of the training also to ensure the unbiased and objective performance measurement, and this type of the training programs that will be helping them mitigating the unconscious that biasness is there. And this training should focus on understanding the cultural, gender, age or any other biases that might affect the judgment, and there might be the certain demographic variables also on basis of which the people may have the biasness, but when you will give the training them, so definitely there will be any type of biasness is there that will not affect the judgment after this particular type of training, and it will be ensuring that the performance evaluation are based on objective criteria rather than the personal impressions are there. Normally we find that is the whenever we are making this type of the appraisal, the individual, because he has already interacted with that particular employee. So, as a result of which there he is getting a particular impression about that employee, and that is why in modern appraisal system, as we have talked earlier in this session, and that is about the we are including the modern way of these appraisal systems also. So, in that case it is not the person with whom you are directly and regularly contact, but you have to also take the consideration of the those persons or employees those who are not directly in contact in day to day basis. So, therefore, their biasness will be less as compared to the person with whom you are interacting on the daily basis. So, whenever where the possible employee blind reviews techniques in the performance evaluation process is there. So, here when because the person is known, so and therefore either favor or there might be the criticism. So, therefore, to avoid this there is in a blind review it will be helping you, and in a blind review the evaluator does not know whose performance they are assessing. So, that is not disclosed. So, which helps to reduce the bias based on the employees the identity, background or the relationship with the reviewer is there, and as a result of which you will find that is the you are making this understanding on the basis of the totally unbiased way, and focus towards the whatever has been the objective of the appraisal is there. Here I would like to take the example of this case study, that is the global bank with a diverse workforce spread across various countries. and the implements a structured performance evaluation framework, and that uses the standardized criteria for all employees regardless of location or the department. And to ensure the assessment to unbiased, the company use blind reviews where the evaluators are not aware of the identity of the employees whose performance they are assessing. Additionally, the HR team that conducts the regular training sessions on the unconscious bias to further help evaluators focus is solely on the performance metrics and the outcomes are there. So, therefore, in the case of the global bank, here we find that is the here most of the time they are trying to avoid this type of these systems of biasness to ensure that is the company will be having the blind reviews without knowing the person to whom they are going to evaluate. This addresses the issue, how can we ensure that the performance measurement is the unbiased and objective, and through this help of this particular case study we can plan those type of the parameters, and from the blind review is an example through which we can measure the performance of the others. The frequency of performance reviews refers to how often formal evaluations of the employee's performance are conducted by an organization, and these reviews are integral to performance management and are used to assess the progress towards goals, provide the feedback, and the identity development opportunities are there. This type of the frequent performance reviews can lead to more timely feedback, quicker adjustments in goals or the work plans, and the closer relationship between the employees and managers. This can increase the employee engagement and adaptability to changing the organizational needs. So, whenever we are making this type of the performance appraisals, and earlier as I mentioned in my previous session, the performance appraisal was the once in a year, but now we say, see, it is at least in a quarterly it is done. Sometimes it is the monthly also done. Sometimes it is the measurement not in the form of the appraisal, but the daily basis measurement, for example in the banking industry and all, and this also the frequency is there. So, these frequent performance reviews they will be giving the feedback to the employees, and employees then he can make the changes in his goal or work plans or the way he is doing that particular job, and this can increase the employee engagement and adaptability to changing organizational needs are there. On basis of these appraisals and employee engagement and adaptability, organization can understand that is what is the need of the organization, which can be achieved by these type of the practices. While more frequent reviews can be beneficial, they also require more resources and time from managers and HR departments. Naturally, when you will increase the number of frequency of the evaluation, then the HR managers they will be more busy. Organizations must balance the need for frequent feedback with the logistic demand of the conducting these reviews, and ensuring they do not lead to the feedback fatigue among the employees or the managers. We have to ensure that is the frequency that should be a balanced one, and therefore we cannot go for these frequent feedback which we will conducting the reviews. So, there it will lead to the employees to make that ensure that they are having the full attention and concentration, and there is no fatigue among the employees or managers is there. So, traditional models often we annual reviews, but as I mentioned once in a year, but when the modern organizations are shifting towards more frequent reviews such as semi-annual, quarterly, or even continuous feedback models is there, and this the choice of the frequency can depend on the company's size, culture, and the nature of work. For example, if the sales target organization is there, so naturally it will be measured very frequently as compared to the any production system is there. The third case study which I would like to take as an example is of the tech solutions. Tech solutions, a rapidly growing tech startup, opts for the quarterly performance reviews instead of the traditional annual review process. Given the fast paced and quickly changing nature of the tech and industry, quarterly reviews provide a more accurate and timely reflection of the employee's performance, allowing for the quicker adjustments and recognition of achievements. This frequent education cycle helps the keep the employees aligned with the company short term objectives, and adapts more promptly to any the strategic pivots. So, this addresses the issue what frequency of performance appraisal, for example annual, or there will be the semi-annual, quarterly, or all provide the most accurate reservation of employees performance and why. And we understand the frequency by which in a particular organization for a particular job will be most appropriate. So, incorporating the self assessment and the peer feedback. Now we when we talk about the 360 degree of the assessment is there, and in the 360 degree in fact we are involving the all these superior, subordinate and colleagues. Now many organizations they are involving these suppliers also, vendors also and customers also. So incorporating of self assessment and peer feedback of the performance management, and that means involving the employees evaluating their own work and receiving the assessment from their colleagues. This approach promotes self-reflection, accountability, and a collaborative work environment. It helps individuals understand how fair their work is perceived by the others, and termination and the identification of the areas for the strengths and opportunities for the improvement that we can identify. So, by combining the self assessments with the peer feedback, performance evaluations can achieve a more the rounded and the multi perspective views of an employee's performance. This method reduces the biasness that can occur if a single supervisor were to assess an employee's performance, and thereby the enhancing the fairness and the accuracy of evaluation. Self assessment encourages the employees to engage actively in their own professional development by making them integral to the evaluation process. Now, it is always important that he is the individual, he understands his own strengths and weaknesses, and yes, he can also take the opinion of the others, maybe the colleagues and the subordinates and the superiors, those who will be guiding or helping or assisting him into getting the exact perception about his work and his ability to do the work. So, peer feedback allows employees to receive a constructive criticism and praise them from their co-workers, which can be more relatable and motivating, fostering a culture of continuous improvement and the personal growth. While beneficial, implementing self-assessment and the peer feedback effectively requires the careful planning, and the support organizational must provide the clear guidelines and the training in how to give and receive feedback connectivity, and it is making the crucial to ensure that the process to perceived as a development tool rather than a means for the criticism, and which requires ongoing support from HR to maintain a positive and a productive feedback culture. Here I would like to take a case study of the creative agency, a firm known for its collaborative culture. Self-assessment and peer feedback are integral parts of the performance reviews process. Each employee completes a self-evaluation form that encourages them to reflect on their achievements and the areas for improvement. Peer feedback is collected through a confidential must the system on that is the online, which is colleagues can provide the constructive feedback based on their recent projects. The comprehensive feedback is then discussed in a constructive manner during one-to-one meetings with the managers, ensuring a holistic view of the performance. This addresses the issue of that how can we incorporate self-assessment and peer feedback into the performance management process. When we are talking about the monitoring the consistency and reliability of performance measurements, because it is not that is the employees are working for a short period of time, but they are required to work for the continuously. So, therefore, this consistency and reliability of performance measurements includes that ensures that the methods and tools used to assess employee performance are stable and produce the accurate results over time. This is crucial for the fairness, employees' trust, and the for making the informed decisions about the promotions, bonuses, and other HR actions. Implementing the standard procedures for the measuring the performance across all departments and roles helps in maintaining the consistency, and these includes among the same criteria and measurement tools for the obtaining the similar roles to avoid the discrepancies, and this could lead to the perception of the his biasness or the unfair treatment. Training managers and the evaluators regularly on how to use the performance measurement the effectively, and can help maintaining better consistency and reliability. These calibration sessions where the managers review performance ratings together to ensure alignment are also important to avoid the variance in the how performance disease standard are the applied. Now, the another case study of the healthcare plus I would like to discuss as a consistency of reliability of performance measurement. In this, the healthcare plus a healthcare provider address the challenging of maintaining the consistent and the reliable performance measurement by implementing a regular audit process for its performance management system. Every 6 months, an external consultant reviews the performance data collected to identify and irregularities or biases in the evaluation process. And this is complemented by and the ancient reviewer, while feedback is from the employees about the fairness and accuracy of the evaluation is collected and analyzed, and these steps help ensure that the annual performance measurement that system remains fair, accurate and effective over the period of time. And this particular case study emphasizes on the what methods can be used to monitor the consistency and reliability of the performance measurement over the period of time. Now, we will like to discuss about the compare the actual performance with the standards and discuss the appraisal. So, the constructive approach discussions are the formal evaluations that focuses on assessing an individual's or the department's performance, providing feedback and the fostering the development. In HRM, these discussion evaluate the effective and efficiency of the HR policies and practices and the overall combination to organize the goals. Prior to the discussion, that collect the comprehensive data on HRM functions including recruitment, training, employee reaction and compliance with the employment laws. Utilize here the both quantitative metrics as employee turnover on rates and quality, then the completion process, and therefore it will be having the qualitative and competitive feedback both. Employees ensure to provide a balanced view on this particular method. Clearly define the objectives of the HRM functions while the organization and align the appraisal discussion around how well these objectives are being met. Discuss the expectations from the HRM in terms of the contributing to the organization's strategic goals, enhancing employee satisfaction and improving the workplace culture. Deliver feedback in a balanced manner, highlighting the strengths and areas for the improvement. Constructive criticism should be specific, fact based and devoid of the personal biases. The important to discuss the similar steps that HRM can team take to address any shortcomings identified during the evaluation. So, another example at the Ecotech Environment Technology company, the appraisal discussion are structured to foster a growth mindset. Before the training and the meeting, both the managers and the employees prepare by reviewing the past performance data, goals and the peer feedback. That employees prepare by reviewing her past performance, and during this appraisal the discussion is led by a trend facilitator to a role taken on by the HR or a senior team member who ensures the conversions that whatever the conversations stay balanced and constructive. The focus is on the achievement areas for growth and of the collaborative goal setting for the future. Rather than the dwelling on the past performances or past shortcomings, each session ends with employees and managers the setting concrete. These are the achievable goals together reinforcing the shared commitment and the employees' careers development. So, this process address the how can we structure appraisal discussion to be constructive and motivating rather than the positive is there. Now, effective feedback is to clear training managers deliver the case that is the clear, direct and actionable communication that helps employees understand their performance, recognize areas for improvement and feel motivated to develop the professionally. In the context of HRM, it is about ensuring that the managers are equipped to provide feedback that aligns with the organizational goals and the supports employees growth. Train managers on the importance of the providing the feedback of the promptly after observing the behavior or performance issues. Feedback should be relevant to the employees' duties and responsibilities and timely enough to allow for adjustment before small issues become the problems. So, now the managers, training managers to deliver the effective feedback that structure feedbacks effectively, and this includes the wherever the stating with the positive observations are followed by the constructive criticism and the concluding which suggestions for the improvement and encouragement. Feedback should be quite based on observation, behavior and the devoid of the personal biasness. The enhanced managers communication skills through training sessions that include the active listening, empathy and the ability to deliver the difficult messages without causing any defensiveness, and the role playing exercise can be practically effective in the practicing these type of the skills. The another example of this FinServ Incorporation, a financial service firm, introduces a comprehensive training program for managers on how to provide the effective feedback. And this program includes the workshops for the communication skills, emotional intelligence and the technique for the giving the construct and feedback that motivates employees and managers, provide in the role playing scenarios that stimulate the challenging feedback situation with such a coach providing the guidance in the handling them, and the post training manager receives a toolkit that includes the checklist and templates to help structure feedback sessions, ensuring they are prepared to foster an environment of the professional growth in the every discussion. This particular situation addresses on the what training can be provide managers on the delivering the effective feedback that leads to the professional growth. Now, when we are talking about the handling discrepancies in the self and managerial assessments, so discrepancies between the self assessment and managerial assessments occur when there is a difference in the evaluation of performance from the perspective of the employees and their managers. Address these discrepancies is crucial for ensuring accuracy in performance appraisal, enhancing that is mutual understanding and maintaining the morale. The facility is open and the honest discussion between the employee and managers to explore the reason behind the discrepancies. This dialogue should be structured as a constructive conversation between the both parties and express the perspectives and the understand a basis of the each other's the assessments. These handling the discrepancies in the self and management assessment provides the training for both the employees and managers on how to conduct and participate in performance assessments. And this includes how to set the measurable goals, evaluate the performance objectives and provide the constructive feedback. Understanding these elements on can help them to reduce the frequency and extent of the discrepancies. After identifying the area of discrepancy, work together to develop an action plan and that addresses to the differences, and this might involve setting the specific agreed upon performance goals, additional training or the more frequent check-ins there. The goal is to align the perception of the employee and the manager to foster professional growth and the making the improving in the performance. Here in the another example at the design craft, a graphic design studio, discrepancies between the self-assessment and the managerial assessments are approached as opportunities for the dialogue and understanding. When such a discrepancy arises, meditation session is scheduled with HR to facilitate a constructive discussion. Both parties are encouraged to present the evidence which is required in the responding to support their assessments, and together the expectations they are having, that is the correct the possible understandings to correct and adjust goals and methods as necessary, strengthening the relationship between an employee and the manager. These issue that address the how can we handle the discrepancies between the self assessment and the managerial the assessments are there. These discussions involve a structured dialogue between these the employees and their supervisor as a HR professionals, focusing on the employees performance, career aspirations and the development needs. In the HRM context, these discussions help align the HR team's skills and career goals with the strategic needs of the organizations. Begin by the understanding the career goal and the aspirations of HRM staff. This can involve discussion about the desired career paths within the HR or the related fields, and identifying what skills and experience are needed to achieve these goals. It is the essential that these aspirations are discussed openly to the tailored development plans effectively. So, these conduct a thorough analysis of the current skills of the HR employees versus the skills required for the future roles they aspire to. These analyses should cover both technical skills like the understanding new HR technologies and the soft skills such as the leadership and the communication, and the outcome should be help a crafting the targeted the development plans. Based on these career aspirations and skill gap identified, develop the customized overdevelopment plan for the HRM, the staff number, and this plan should include the specific steps, the additional training on the job training opportunities, mentorship and arrangements, and the participation in the relevant projects that align with their career trajectory. Finally, I would like to discuss this case study, and that is using the performance discussion for the career development in this session, and that is the Health Solutions Healthcare provide the user performance discussion not only to evaluate past work but also to explore employees future potential. During appraisal, managers discuss not only job performance but also the career aspirations and the potential leadership qualities with the employees. Based on this discussion, the company offers the targeted development opportunities such as the mentorship programs, leadership training and the rotations. These across the different departments, these opportunities are tailored to project the promising the individuals to prepare and for the future roles, and making performance discussions is a crucial part of the career pathing. This is addressing the question, that is in what ways can we use performance discussions to identify potential for career development and the future leadership role. So, this way we have talked about on these issues, that is the how we can reduce this biasness and make these appraisal in a given frequency, so that we can have the honest and impartial evaluation of the performance of the employee. The another dimensions, and that is about the ensuring the confidentiality and the respects in the performance discussion. So, it is very important, that is the confidentiality in performance discussion involves safeguarding the personal and the performance related information shared during the evaluations. So, respect entails treating all participants with the dignity, valuing their contributions and ensuring that the process fair and free from biasness is there. Uh, when we are evaluating anybody's performance, we have to understand that is everybody is having his own strength and weaknesses in his personality, and therefore we have to keep that dignity, and we have to understand the every individual's capacity to perform. So, therefore, as a result of which we will be able to treating all the participants respectfully. Here we have to also implement the clear policies on whose access to the performance evaluation data and under what circumstances it can be shared. So, ensure all parties involved to understand these guidelines to prevent the unauthorized disclosure of the sensitive information. Many times because there are certain discussions on the even the personality of the individual, and but this during the time of evaluation, this discussion is has to be kept the confidential and ensure that is there is nothing the wrong information or the information which is supposed to be the kept confidential goes are disclosed as a sensitive information. To foster a supportive atmosphere that encourages the open and honest communication, ensures that the discussion setting is a private and that interruptions are the minimized. So, respect in the discussion also means the listing the actually and acknowledging the feelings and the perspectives of the all participants. So, these ensuring this confidentiality and respect that will be making an acknowledgement of these perspectives of the different participants and as a result of which you will find that is if you are giving this respect, keeping the dignity and the confidentiality, the participants they also feel comfortable and based on the performance discussion that will be making you the more focused and objective ones. So, based performance discussion on objective data and the standardized evaluation criteria is to avoid the personal biasness and this includes the using the performance metrics that are directly related to the job responsibilities and the organizational goals, which ensures that all assessments are the fair and the relevant are there, because ultimately what is the objective of the evaluation or assessment? The objective of the assessment is to identify the areas where the individual is strong or his strengths are there, and wherever he has been found weak or there the scope of the improvement, the organizational goals yeah, will directing and ensuring that the all assessments and they are done the fair and the relevant are there, and many skills and knowledge which are found which are required to be as a related knowledge and the employees are lacking, then as I discussed in the previous session, on basis of this appraisal we can plan for the training. Here I would like to take this particular case study, that is ensuring the confidentiality and respect in performance discussions at the Secure Data Corporation, where the sensitive data handling is critical. Ensuring confidentiality and respect in performance discussion in paramount. So, all appraisal meetings are conducted in private room and the documents related to the performance reviews are the encrypted and stored securely. Managers are trained in confidentiality protocols and are reminded of the importance that is the regularly. The company also implements the strict policies to provide the employees information, ensuring that discussions about the performance remains private and are handled with the utmost respect and professionals, particularly in the sensitive cases. Now, here this particular case study that address that is the how we can be the course confidentiality and respect during the performance discussion, particularly in the sensitive cases that is required to be maintained, because if we maintain this particular confidentiality, then the employees they will develop a trust about the system and they will be able to conduct their behavior where the this type of these issues that can be identified and we can have the training program for them to support. Now, the final steps which is coming out is towards the taking the corrective action. Now, on basis of all these discussions about these performance measurement and the ensuring that is the proper methods are there. So, first we have talked about that is about the goal, that is what goal we are having. So, therefore, in performance appraisal to achieve the goal and for the achieving the goal there were the different methods which has the employees have been used, and then the employees those who are aligning all these parameters which are related to the goals are there, and we have talked about the certain parameters and especially the methods and also point of view of the whole system of performance evaluation, the criteria fixations, the biasness of these evaluators and the competency of these candidate or the employee, where we can talk about how to meet these goals, organizational goals with the individual goals are concerned. So, fair and applicable corrective actions, they are referred to the measures taken to rectify the deficiencies or the misconduct identified during the performance evaluation of the HRM function. Now, we know that is the during all this process of evaluation, we will find some of the employees, those who are not able to come out with this particular aspect of the understanding the limitations of the systems. So, here it is important these actions should be equitable, fit the nature and the gravity of the issues, and aim to improve the performance and the compliances within the HR department. These type of the fair and applicable corrective actions that will be like identifying those weaknesses or the deficiencies or misconduct, and then all corrective actions should be aligned with the existing organizational policies. Now, here the focus is to take the corrective action and not to punish. Therefore, in that case if our employees they are not able to perform, we have to identify and the within the employment laws that where they are lacking, and this ensures the legality and the fairness while maintaining the trust and the integrity. So, when you are talking about taking these corrective actions, so within the HRM function it becomes very important you are able to maintain that integrity of the individuals. So, they do not feel that is they are the lower performers. So, it is essential that the actions taken are consistently applied across the all levels of the organizations, and as we know that there will be the different organizational structures and when we are talking about the appraisal system, so many times it is a tall structure. Technically we find that is it is becoming the more important than the when we are talking about the flat structures are there. So, when we are making the appraisal in the tall structure of the organization, many times it becomes better than we are talking about the flat structure of the organization. The issue is here that because these structures that ensures the legality and fairness while the maintaining the trust and integrity within the HRM functions. It is essential that the actions taken are the consistently applied across the levels of the organizations, whether it is a junior level, middle level or the senior levels are concerned. Now, we these fairness and applicable corrective actions ensure that is they involve the key stakeholders in determining the appropriate corrective actions. So, including the HR leaders, legal advisors and sometimes the representatives from the affected departments are there. So, all stakeholders which are related to the HR, because HR is having the also the concern where they are having the colleagues otherwise we find that is there are these leaders are there or the legal advisors are there, and these legal advisors and the leaders they sometimes representatives they involved in helping in the consideration the drive perspectives and enhance the acceptance and effectiveness of the corrective measures. Clearly communicate the need for the corrective actions to those involved or the affected, explaining how these actions are in line with the organizational goals and the legal requirements. Ensure through the documentation of the evaluation process, the decision making process for the corrective actions and the steps they are planned for the implementation to maintain the transparency and the accountability is there. Now, I would like to take this particular case study for an example. At a logistic company facing operational inefficiencies, HR introduces a step-by-step approach to ensure the corrective actions are fair and directly address issues identified during the appraisals. After performance reviews, HR facilitates a meeting between the manager and the employee to discuss the role causes of any performance gaps. They use a structured template to outline specific, measurable and realistic steps. They are tailored to the individual's needs and the operational goals. And these actions plan in these reviewed by a third party within the company to ensure it is fair and justifiable, preventing biasness and the ensuring that the corrective measures are directly linked to the identical performance issues are there. So, therefore, in that case it has to be ensured that is the fair and applicable corrective action is possible into the organization. This helps us to understand that is what steps can we take to ensure the corrective actions are fair and applicable to the issues identified in the appraisal systems. Now, when we have taken the corrective action, corrective actions are the continuous process. So, we cannot stop by just by doing once in a year and like this, rather than there is a need for the monitoring the effectiveness of the corrective actions. So, monitoring the effectiveness of the corrective actions involves that is assessing whether the changes implemented after an appraisal or the audit effectively address identified issues and contribute to the improvement of the HRM function. This process ensures that the HRM practices are aligned with organizational goals and the legal requirement, enhancing the overall efficiency and the employee satisfaction. Define the specific measurable metrics to evaluate the success of the corrective actions. This could include the improvements in the employee turnover rates, the time to hire, employee satisfaction scores and the compliance rates with the HR policies. These are clear these metrics that help the quantity, the impact of the changes make and provide a basis for the objective assessment. Now, to set up a regular schedule for reviewing these outcomes of the corrective actions, there is for monitoring these corrective actions, and this could be through monthly reviews, quarterly audits or the semi-annual assessments are there. Depending on the nature of the corrective action and the expected time to impact, these considers the reviews help the HRM team accountable and ensure continuous attention to improvement areas. To engage the various stakeholders including HR, staff, managers and employees in providing feedback of this effectiveness of the corrective actions, this engagement can be facilitated through the surveys, interviews or the focus groups. The stakeholders feedback is crucial for the understanding the real world impact of changes and for these making the adjustments if we desired these outcomes are not being met. So, here I would like to take this case study for the monitoring the effectiveness corrective action, where the biohealth, a pharmaceutical company, implements a digital tracking system to monitor the effectiveness of corrective actions over time. After identifying the necessary improvements during performance reviews, specific benchmarks and the timelines are set for the each corrective action. Employees for their program are there these progress on these benchmark in the system, which allows for the feedback for the supervisors and the peers. The regular check-ins are scheduled automatically by the system. This is the providing the ongoing support and adjustment as needed. This process allows HR to see real time updates and they ensures that the corrective actions are the producing the desired outcomes are there. Because once you are giving this training and then when you are talking about these particular corrective actions, like here in the case of the biohealth industry, we find that there is a requirement for the each employees how they are monitoring about this particular the effective and corrective actions, and the benchmark systems which are the kept to perform that regular check-ins are scheduled and as a result of which the system it continues. This particular case study helps us to address the questions, that is how can we monitor the effectiveness of the corrective actions over time. So, we have understood that is the yes, we have to be flexible, we have to consider it, but we should not forget to monitor, because ultimately it will lead towards the organization, and organizational goals are to be achieved. This is the offering support system to meet the performance standards. So, support systems in HRM refers to the structured processes and the tools provided to the HR team to enable them to efficiently manage and enhance workforce capabilities. These includes the technology, professional development and the strategic guidance necessary to meet or exceed the performance standards. Implement advanced HR information systems and the other technology tools that automate and streamline HR process, such as the payroll, recruitment and the employee management. This tool should be used friendly and integrate well with the other system in use within the organization to ensure the efficiency and the accuracy. These offering support system to meet the performance standards provide the ongoing training and professional development opportunities for HR staff to stay updated with the latest HR practices, laws and technologies. This not only enhances their skills, but also ensures that the organization remains compliant with the regulations and current with the modern workforce management trends. Establishing the open and effective communication channels within the HR department and across the organization, and this includes the regular meetings, updates and feedback sessions that help the HR staff these understand for the impact to the organization, and receive the guidance on the performance improvements are there. These support the HRM with the strategic planning resources supports and that helps align the HR goals with the organization long term objectives, and this involves the access to the senior management for the strategic advice and support, as well as the analytics and reporting tools to measure the HR's contribution to organizational success. Here I would like to take this particular case study of the offering support systems to meet the performance standards. At Creative Designs and Advertising Agency, HR develops a robust support system to help the employees meet performance standards, and this system includes access to the coaching program. Their employees they can work one to one on with the experienced the coacher to develop these quite specific skills, and this a mentoring program that painless here experience the employees with a senior staff for the career guidance and the customized the training program that address the common areas of the improvement highlighted in the performance reviews, and also these resources are promoted actively among these within the company, and are eagerly accessible for those ensuring employees have the support they need to succeed, and therefore this will be easily accessible to meet the performance standards with the help of these training programs, and also with this continuation of their evaluation for the career guidance and the customized training programs. So, this particular aspect that supports and that is the what support system like the coaching, mentoring, training programs can we offer to help the employees and to meet the performance standards. Finally, I would like to talk about the tailoring the corrective actions to be supportive. The tailoring corrective actions to be supportive involves the identifying the specific areas where the HRM practices may be the failing short, and devising strategies that not only addresses these deficiencies, but also enhance capability and the motivation of the HRM team. This approach prioritizes the constructive feedback and mentoring over the punitive measures, aiming to build a stronger, more effective HR department. Begin by conducting a thorough analysis to understand the not causes of the underperformance. This could involve examining the processes, resource allocation, staff these competencies or the external factors affecting HR functions, and understanding the why behind performance issues is crucial to develop the effective, the supportive corrective actions. Now, to develop the corrective actions that are specifically tailored to the needs identified during the analysis. For instance, if gaps in compliance knowledge are found, the solution might involve the targeted training sessions or the upload software and that simplifies a compliance tracking. Therefore, the solution should be practical, achievable and directly related to the issue identified. Provide the HRM team with the tools, resources and the training they need to improve. This could include access to the new HR technologies, additional staff to manage workloads, or the professional development opportunities, and these supportive corrective actions should empower the HR team to perform their duties more efficiently and effectively. When we talk about the green word, an environmental NGO focuses on the transforming the corrective actions into opportunities for the growth and development rather than the punitive measures. When performance gaps are identified, the corrective plans included the positive reinforcement strategies such as the negotiation for the improvements and the small the wins, and the managers are trained to frame these actions within the context of the professional development and personal achievement, focusing on this enhancing the skill and expanding these capabilities. Additionally, employees are given choices in how they wish to address their performance issues, whether through the workshops, seminars or the project assignments, and making the process more empowering. Now, this particular context that address that how can we tailor corrective actions to be the supportive rather than positive to or punitive to encourage the growth and development. And therefore, whenever we are having the proper corrective actions which is supportive are there and positive are there rather than punitive, so that will definitely the encourage the growth and development of the employees. To involving the employees in the planning their corrective actions means the engaging the HRM staff in the process of identifying the solutions to the performance issues identified during these evaluations. This approach fosters the ownership, accountability and empowerment as the employee conclude to the development of the strategies and that affect their work and the outcomes directly. Initiate the process by setting the collaborative goals with the HRM team. This should involve the discussion that allows employees to express their views on the achievable targets and what they need to reach these goals. The collaborative and the sitting ensures that the corrective actions are the relevant and aligned with the both organizational the objectives of the employees and the capabilities. Work together with the HRM employees to identify barriers to optimal performance and involving the employees to planning their corrective actions. This could involve workflow inefficiencies, lack of resources or the skill gaps. Once these barriers are clearly defined, then these to the collaborate on the brainstorming practical solutions or improvements. This participation ensures that the corrective actions are the realistically tailored to the specific challenges faced. To develop the personalized action plans that detail the steps each employee needs to take, and this plan should be include the timeless expected outcomes and within the metrics for success. By involving these employees in creating these plans, you ensure they are engaged and committed to the process, increasing the likelihood of the positive outcomes. Here I would like to take the example of this particular case study related to the involving the employees in planning their corrective actions. At FinTech Innovations, a company specializing in the financial technology, HR ensures that the employees are actually involved in planning their corrective actions to foster engagement and commitment. After appraisals, employees are asked to reflect on their performance and propose their own steps for the improvement. These proposals are then discussed with their managers to refine the actions and ensure they are released and effective. These collaborative these the approach not only empowers employees, but also aligns their personal goals with the organizational objectives and enhancing their commitment to implementing the corrective actions. This addresses, that is the how can we involve the employees in the planning of their corrective actions and to ensure they are engaged and the committed to the improvement is there. Therefore, we have talked about that what corrective actions are taken and then how we can monitor these corrective actions, so that ultimately we find that is our employees are engaged and committed to the improvement. Thank you.